In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet the even moss stitch or the even linen stitch. It's a really lovely textured fabric. You can see the little bobbles on there. It's a nice dense fabric if you're wanting to make blankets, scarves, trivets, anywhere where you don't really want something with too many holes in. It's a one row repeated pattern, making it the same on the front as it is on the back. So let's have a look at the tutorial. For this tutorial I'm using an Aran or a worsted weight yarn. This is a paint box yarn. I have a 5mm crochet hook, I have a needle for sewing in my ends, scissors for cutting off those ends, and a stitch marker just in case I need one. So we need to start off by making a foundation chain. So we're going to begin with a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And your foundation chain needs to be in any odd number. So yarn over, pull through your slip knot, that is 1. Yarn over, pull through the chain you just made, that's 2, 3, 4, 5. So pause the video now whilst you make your foundation chain in any multiple of an odd number, and I shall see you in a moment. So I have my foundation chain. I'm just doing a sample piece that is 19 chains long. And to start row 1 then we're going to make a double crochet. That's UK terminology. In US that would be single crochet. We're going to make a double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So we don't count the one on the hook. So that's 1, 2, and we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. We're going to do a double crochet in the next chain. So insert, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the 2. And we're going to put 1 double crochet in every chain, working back down the row. So pause the video now whilst you complete row 1, which is a row of double crochets, and I shall see you at the end of the row. So I've just finished my row 1, which is my double crochet row, and I'm going to start on row 2. So I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn my work. Chain 1 doesn't count, therefore we're going to work into that very first stitch, and in there we're going to do a slip stitch. So you insert your hook through both parts of the stitch, yarn over and pull through. You should have 2 loops on your hook, then just pull that first loop back through the other loop on your hook, and that is your slip stitch done. In the next stitch we're going to do a half treble. In US that's half double. So you yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull back through. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull back through all 3 of those loops. I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then we're going to do a half treble in the next stitch, and we're going to continue that pattern all the way down row 2. So slip stitch, then a half treble, slip stitch and a half treble. So pause the video now whilst you work your way back down row 2, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've worked my way down the row and I've come to the end of row 2. So you're obviously going to have some variation in height because obviously you have slip stitches and half trebles and they're different height stitches, but that's okay, that's what we need. You should have started on a slip stitch and you end on a half treble, and that's going to be the same for every row here on out. Start on a slip stitch, end on a half treble. So row 3 is pretty much the same as row 2, and we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. Chain 1 doesn't count, we're going to work into that very first stitch there with a slip stitch. Then we're going to yarn over, working to the next stitch with a half treble. To the next stitch we're going to do a slip stitch and in the next stitch we're going to do a half treble, slip stitch and half treble. Now when you're doing your slip stitch, make sure you're turning your work slightly and going through the V here, and you're not going through this part here. So if you try to go through there, you will lose a lot of the nice texture that you get on the front. So make sure you are going through these two and not these two. So through there and make a slip stitch. So pause the video now whilst you work your way to the end of the row, and I'll see you at the end of this row. So I come to the end of my row and I'm going to do my final half treble in the very last stitch. And what you'll find is you have this sort of nice raised area here, and then it sort of goes in a bit just above there before the top of the stitch. So we're just going to repeat row 3, so we're going to chain 1, turn our work, chain 1 doesn't count, making sure we're going through this part of the stitch and not through this part here. We're going to do slip stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to do a half treble. And we just continue that way until we have our fabric the length that we would like it to be. So I'm going to work up a few more rows now for you to see how it looks, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've just worked up a few more rows for you to see how it looks. It's a gorgeous textured stitch. You get these lovely raised bumps on your fabric. Being a 1 row repeated pattern, it's the same on the back as it is on the front, making it ideal for scarves where you're going to see both sides, or for blankets. Ideal for a baby blanket because it's quite a dense fabric, quite a dense stitch, so you're not going to get little fingers caught in between the stitches, but it's still going to be a very warm blanket. So it's a really lovely stitch and very simple to do. It's one of my favourite mindful stitches for when I just want to switch off and I don't want to have to think about a complicated pattern. So if you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the YouTube algorithm do its thing and show it to other crocheters, and it helps to keep the channel going. If you've enjoyed seeing my stitch marker today, don't forget to check out the Conquer Crochet shop. That's shop.conquercrochet.com, and there will be a thing somewhere on the screen showing you where you can click to have a look and to purchase this stitch marker and all of my other stitch markers, haberdashery items, stickers, planner books, lots of things over there, so well worth checking out if you're looking for a gift for another crocheter or if you're wanting a gift for yourself. I shall pop 2 more videos on the screen over on the side to help you on your crochet journey, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!